Well, hello, folks. Top Gun here with you, and I got a good one for you today. We're going to do a little bit of news and we'll do a market chart analysis. So, where am I going to start with news? Well, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things going on. So, in the realm of stock markets, we've got Elon Musk, who has now quoted that Twitter has been even more difficult than anticipated in revealing or examining fake accounts, the bots. So basically, it's a pump and dump. He's backing out of the deal, and it's probably best for Tesla stock as it was leveraged in the deal proposed, but it is not worth the $44 billion, and that would crush Tesla way worse than we would want to see. Yeah. So right now, the other interesting news that I have to talk about is Gala Games or Galaverse. Gala. Basically, let's go ahead here. Don't worry about this. Gala Metaverse. Not a big believer in the metaverse stuff, but a lot of hype, a lot of stuff going on here. They're doing some things with their gaming. So really, Gala, let's look at gaming. Battlestar Galactica. Gala Games. Boom, boom. And here we have, if you are at all a fan of sci-fi like I am, this will pique your interest. I may not be into NFT gaming, and I may not think that Gala is worth buying, at least not at this stage. The way they spend money, like Drunken Sailor, they basically throw it out on advertising and bands and all this hype, and not enough in development, in my opinion. But they are developing quite a fancy looking game here, and I do love Battlestar Galactica. So, would I actually contemplate playing an NFT based game? For this, maybe. Like I've said before, utility is something that we've been lacking in NFTs. I will not buy a rock JPEG. Meme coins are practically useless. Now, for me, I like utility, and for me, I just actually want to play a Battlestar Galactica game. Interested in how NFTs will actually be worked into it. But the game itself was going to be brought, I think, broken down pre apocalypse in the Battlestar verse, as there's actually the 12 guilds that'll be listed for play. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where this is going, because for me, Battlestar Galactica was a nerd thing in the 70s and wasn't that great. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen William Shatner's Star Trek. It's not worth it, really. So, but they did a reboot in the early 2000s, and I thought that reboot was pretty epic, pretty well written. And I've been stalking and waiting because there's been a proposed reboot again of Battlestar Galactica for the shows. So if this game actually gets developed at the same point that that show gets re-released and it gets some traction, this game will get played, and there might actually be something that Gala has got under the works that might be worth something at this point. So with all that, you guys love when I look at the markets. Let's actually take a look at Gala as well for price-wise. Alright, Gala market chart. Boom. Gala trading at 8 cents. I have looked at this before. It looks like, because Gala, when I first started looking at this, let's look at year to date. No, all. Yes. I knew I had looked at it earlier in the year when I was first getting into crypto. And when I had found it, it was somewhere around here, I believe, trading at 40 and 50 cents. I saw it's had almost some amount of healthy growth, but these spikes are just so sudden. I was like, no, 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 no. This is way, way overdone. And yeah, we've been riding out a bear market formation in here. This might actually, let's see, where are we at? So 8 cents, all time high was 70. We're almost at a 90% correction down on Gala. Interesting. I'm not even sure what network Gala trades on. Coin market cap. What do we got here? A 6.9 billion market cap of circulating supplies of Gala. All right. All right, so this is interestingly small. Currently on Binance, OKX, Bybit, FTX, BitGet. Okay. I'm not even sure what network this is on. This is something I've just been interested enough to do some research on. I basically am still not going to spend my money on it. I'm not a financial advisor, and I can't tell you what to do with your money. But pretty much, like I said, they spend like a drunken sailor on a lot of hype. They push, like this feels almost like artificial jumps, but this isn't the kind of chart I like to look at normally. Let's have a look at log. This is not actually the most frightening chart in the world here, folks. I'm going to have to do a little more research on this, especially now that they have this Battlestar Galactica game in the works. So, yeah, this is basically the investment opportunity that I heard of recently that's not actually well backed. This is basically a degenerate play, as far as I'm concerned. I don't trust CoinMarketCap. I don't trust Gala. I don't trust like these companies myself, but this may be something that actually has some sort of traction if you're interested. So we took a look, and now you guys are gonna go, I'll let you know as I research more on this project. But we are circling back around, and we're looking at Bitcoin right now along with my favorite indicators. So this morning started off with a good kick to the gut as the dollar was trending higher at 44% up, I believe. The rest of the market opened in the red. But throughout the morning, over the last hour of trading, we have seen a change in trend as the market is gaining some ground today, trying to push a little further on a rebound. We've had action in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is even rebounding. So Bitcoin has been kind of the risk on flag for right now. So what are with all these pretty lines I have drawn? Well, basically, in a chart with this where you have it on pure speculation, no valuation, it's just what other traders are going to do. A lot of traders flow by the forms of resistance and support that are formed. So as Bitcoin started to crash here, it created this green line of resistance, and it went down further and harder. I don't have them all drawn, but as it breaks them, the old line of resistance becomes the new line of support. So it's inside of this yellow trend, moving downwards, varying up and down. I don't even have a higher support marked because I don't believe that it'll last any action if it gets up here. Down is more likely, in my opinion. So I haven't even bothered marking the uptrends. As you can see, I have down lines, as these will be lines of support and resistance, basically the same way we have these forward moving trends. So the way I'm reading the technical analysis, we had a huge spike of volume as Bitcoin crashed out and established a bottom, as people were covering short positions and covering their long positions, so on and so forth. Then we've actually seen green impressions on the Instagram, as it has been fighting to try and regain some new levels of support. So I might even mark this out, actually, this 29.8, because this is something we are riding on since we first crashed. So why not? We'll add it to the mix since we're fighting hard with it right now. Literally at the bottom of this range here for the wicks. Alright, so what are we looking at? 29.7 roughly. Okay, so right now that is our line of support. We've been wicking under for Bitcoin, but it's been staying above this. So here's how this works. Now that we've bounced off the new line of resistance, the old line of resistance is the line of support. Basically, if we crack through these two blue lines, we're going all the way down to this third blue line along this line of support, hopefully. If it cracks this line of support, run for the bloody hills, because it may bounce here and come down even harder and break this trend line. That would be a frightening outcome. Right now, we're looking at consolidation basically in Bitcoin, and it's trying to push an upward trend from the wick out. So let's have a look at the trend it is trying to form right now. Trying to make an upward motion, finally. It's probably a little too much noise on the chart, not worth looking at, because I don't believe this upward trend will be supported for very long. We have to break out of this green support or resistance line and stay in green impressions in the Instagram, and we're running out of fuel. Green impressions are already starting to fade just a little bit, and the oversold conditions are coming down, so there's still room. This is basically a very speculative asset, and the next few days are going to be very important throughout the week of trading to see what Bitcoin does. If it chooses up, we've got a risk-on environment, and through the month of June, we should see a healthy rebound in the markets. If she chooses down, though, we're going to see more struggling in the markets. Basically, the markets were leading Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin's leading the market. The correlation continues, but it has separated. So there isn't a direct number correlation. We can see the NASDAQ and see that comparison as she comes down, comes up, a little more volatile even. SPX, we've got the exact same formation rocking through these, and they were directly correlated with Bitcoin. Let's do an overlap, should we? So Bitcoin USD, thank you. Alright. Now I just have to scale these up to a day when they were in sync better. Ooh, that gets hard to read. So you can see the rate, Bitcoin has been a lot more volatile now. Yeah, I can't move that the way I want it to be easier to see. Alright, it is what it is. As you can see, Bitcoin being speculative, far more volatile, but for a while it was moving a lot closer in tandem through here at the beginning of the trend. But then we had a massive sell-off and not much of a regain. But this is where the NASDAQ and the SPX 500 are just indexes of the stock market. So they move as the whole market, as a snapshot of one aspect of the market. The Dow Jones being the industrial complex, the SPX or SP 500 index, including technologies and blue chips. So as we can see, this SPX chart as a snapshot of the market, while Bitcoin, that has no valuation, is a speculative commodity asset like gold, is treated quite often risk on, risk off with the SPX. And if it's more volatile, we could almost assume that it's a bit of a leading indicator. Or trailing. I mean, really trying to figure out which one of these is ahead of the other. But as you can see, bottom out together, peak up together, slide down together. The movement's pretty there. Like, yes, far more volatile with Bitcoin, but you can see the correlation. This is why I pay attention to all of the market. It does matter where the money's going, what the movements are. Why was the market in so much pain to start off the day? Well, let's have a look at oil. Oil, the trend is your friend till the end, is basically our indicator for inflation in the market. As long as the price of oil can continue to move up in this trend, inflation is intact. As in, there's too much liquidity in the system, and the Fed still needs to raise the interest rates. Because as spending can happen on oil, the inflation will continue to grow. Used car prices will go out of whack, everything else will go out of whack. If we go on to a full-on depression, will crypto be the first thing that people buy? There could be even, like, I hate to scare people, there could be even a harder bear market than we've seen traditionally in crypto. Depends on how bad the Fed lets things get. So it needs to hike interest rates while we still got a cushion and make the dollar king and curb some of this demand, crush the price. When we see the price in oil going down, we'll see demand in the market going down. The dollar at that point should hold steady, going up as king a little bit, and we will see some pain in the stock market, which means we'll see some more pain in Bitcoin. Like I said, we've got the cushion. Bitcoin's going to 11K anyway. So basically, this is a good way to look at this. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates to the point of inflation, matches it with their target at least, before Bitcoin hits 11K, we have hope in the market of it only being a recession and there being an actually healthy growth back out relatively soon. In the fact that, hey, maybe it could happen in 6 months, maybe it could happen in 18, half a year to a year and a half. Not bad for an economic downturn, unlike how it happened after the housing crisis. But if we see Bitcoin all the way down at 11K, we see her crack down to this blue line, and then the Fed still is behind inflation and cracks the interest rates up there, we could see Bitcoin fall out of its normal 85% correction, and that could be even harder on the rest of the crypto market. It is something I'm actually keeping an eye on and considering that Bitcoin could go even lower than 11K in its standard correction. I mean, I do kind of have a projected area or time frame to expect. Isn't it funny how Christmas looks like the end of the bear market correction for Bitcoin? That would be pretty interesting if it all works out like that and the Fed gets off their butt. They basically, if this trend holds out, they have until the end of the year to get their crap together. And I mean, the further down along we are on here, the worse the chances of it crashing harder, faster. They need to act soon. Wait until winter or fall. Not a good plan. The Fed has the summer to act. It has this cushion room, really, for once it breaks under this blue line, Bitcoin is in more of a danger territory. We can't take a lot more pain in the economy. With no money being made, people live off of their savings. What is their savings? Their Bitcoin. If they start living off it and selling it, it'll drop even lower, even faster. The economy needs to stay intact. The Federal Reserve needs to get off its butt and act on interest. Now, all that is some doomy, gloomy stuff, right? But you guys, you're probably Hexicans, so we can laugh. We can laugh at the XRPers. Yep, let's have a look at XRP. We have to actually go far. Let's see here. Yes, XRP as a network has still just been, riding out hard. Doesn't seem like they're near the end of their bear market either. Why would I say that? Well, let's have a look at the long-standing line of resistance, which they have to crack over before things get exciting. And yeah, that just cracked into next year. So not seeing a lot of indicator in there. BNB though, they have been fighting around quite a bit. They had their double top. BNB though, yeah, 680 was their top. I haven't done a lot of analysis on it, really. It spiked up really hard at the beginning of 2021. And the technicals on it, I mean, BNB is the Binance scam chain. I keep this as more of an indicator to see what's going on. And it was try to have a rally outside of Bitcoin and has now paid the price, basically. And it's continuing, again, the nasty, long-standing trend of, oh God, it's all coming to an end. So there's still more pain to feel here. Now, Hex, we've got our, oh God, it's all pain line that's been drawn in for quite a while. But what we've had here is some massive downward corrections. And what is this line here? That's 0 cents. Right down at the bottom, the way I have this drawn. So what has me excited in Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, in Hex recently? The better Bitcoin. It's not Bitcoin, it's better Bitcoin. Okay? Sorry, folks. So inside of here, we have right now the MACD flashing, that is thinking about flashing green. We are fighting the line of resistance. So we're cupping around a little bit. Volume has picked up as though the bottom may be in, and volume was dead for a long time, even with our little rally here and even with it dying off. But now volume has picked up as people are like, wow, this is cheap Hex. And with that, when the selling finally, panic dies out of that, we got some room to see a good rebound, I believe. This yellow line, let's just delete that. We won't know exactly where this will stop when it starts picking off, but we bounced off basically the maximum pain line that I had marked, along with the support line, almost from, like, this is a little bit optional where you want to draw this, but basically we had a little bit of correlation of supports, and I believe that we're flashing basically any buyers. If we can get green flashed on the Instagram, we've got a risk on buy in Hex. It likes to move opposite of the rest of the market, but it's been coming down since Bitcoin's been trying to come up today. So market crashing isn't so scary for Hex. I have a funny feeling we're going to break out of this line, but not with any major steam. We'll probably ride it down to retest a double bottom at this support line around 4.6 cents, 4.7. Might stop at 5, somewhere in this range. We'll consolidate, gather some steam, and then Bob's your uncle. We'll actually see. Now, I always move my mouse all the way up here. This is a trend or standing points of support and resistance, long standing, not this short one. There is a lot of reason to believe we could hit the top of this, but Hex does like to segment. That's a lot of time we're looking at. So this is where, looking at a big gully like this, we may have 2 rest stops. So let's draw these lines in. These lines are usually pretty well evenly spaced. It's kind of scary how this works out. Alright. So, what could it look like? Well, it could come down, do a little consolidating, come up, bounce down, do this, a little more consolidating. Hex has been nervous lately, near a triple bottom. Then we could see a little more action because Paul's channel will be closer to launching near the end of June. We'll probably get people wanting their snapshot bonus again. And we could easily be up to 12 cents by the 4th of July. Wouldn't that be nice? I can't see the future. Probably will do the exact opposite of that, as in anything else, simply because I called it. But the point is, yeah, we generally will see A little bit of growth till a resistance line. Then how long do we ride it? It depends on what's going on in the market, whether Bitcoin's going up or coming down. And Bitcoin right now, yeah, let's get rid of this. I really want that. Oh. Goodbye. So right now, Bitcoin, again, we've got this little fun range for the first half of June that we get to test through this bull flag here and see what kind of conditions we're looking at. This is not really a huge risk on. We still have lower lows, or sorry, lower highs coming in. So this is still not risk in. We got to see what happens inside this bull flag. Hopefully this gives you an idea of the markets, what you want to do, what you'll be watching, see what indicators there are as we continue to wait for pulse chain. The only reason I would dare speculate about something that I don't even think you should put your money in, just because, hey, you might want to. You might think it's interesting. I'm not putting my money in it, not yet. I got to do more research. So, there you go, guys. Brought to you by Top Gun. Remember to hit that like button, smash the subscribe, or hit the subscribe, smash the like, whatever you want. I'm dyslexic, so I'll say it either way. And remember, till next time, stay frosty.